Now, it's time for the Anchormen Podcast with Matt Gates and Dan Ball.
Hey, everybody, I'm Dan Ball. Thanks for tuning in to the Anchormen Podcast. Along by my side, as always, every week, it's the other Anchorman here at the OAN Network, Riley Lewis, one of our, what do we got now, 4 or 5 talk shows?
Four primetime shows.
Well, don't forget about John Hines on weekends now.
A new one.
Weekly update, right? And then he's doing one called, is it After Hours or After Dark or something like that? Yeah. So you got to watch you, then me, then Matt, then Chanel, and then our friend John Hines from Washington, D.C. on weekends.
That's right.
Okay. So there's all the anchor men and women that work for us here at OAN. We'll talk about the lineup later, but welcome in on this, what is it? It's Friday, July 11th. What a crazy, wild week.
Yeah.
4th of July. Half a year. There's been a lot of things shaken, Mr. Lewis.
I hope you had a good 4th, by the way. I had a great 4th.
Yeah, we didn't get to... So wait, the 4th was, that's right. We recorded early last week on a Thursday so we could all get the heck out of here on the 4th of July.
That's right.
And then, of course, the tragedy hit down in Texas, and I think everybody in the nation has been talking about that since it happened. And
Rightfully so.
Yeah, rightfully so for sure. And I think that a lot of people didn't forget to celebrate or talk about what they celebrated or how they celebrated for the 4th, because it was a heck of a year so far to celebrate, right?
Yes.
With Team Trump in the Oval and just the conservative America First movement making major headwaves, some sanity, some common sense coming back to the nation, at least for an overwhelming majority.
Yeah.
We're not there all the way with the lefties, but I would call us 60% sane right now.
Yeah.
Maybe 65 if you look at polls.
Yeah, right, for what that's worth. I would like to think that we're getting through to some people, though. You know, I think prosperity and success can unify people. I know.
Winning usually brings a team together.
I mean, you know, you got to look at the world peace stuff, look at a secure border. Can we all admit it's nice to have a secure border again? I think we can all agree that's a benefit for everybody,
here's the deal, though. Now the threat is from within because they're already here. And so I just had on border reporter Anthony Aguero on my show the other day.
Nice.
And he's at the northern border now raising the red flag, telling Team Trump, nobody at the northern border thinks you got to worry that much. He's like, I'm up here. I'm going through deep forests where there's river and creeks and stuff, and people can walk across. There's no technology watching. There's no major fencing. And he's already found passports from people from Syria, Pakistan.
Really?
Yeah. So when I hear the left all complaining about Trump's going after brown people, he's racist, hate Mexicans. This has nothing to do with Mexicans, you morons. This has to do with, one, getting out criminal illegal aliens who broke our federal immigration laws of any race, color, or creed, and specifically the hardcore criminals, obviously the gangbangers, MS-13, Trinidad Wagra.
Sure.
But most importantly, even over all those scumbags are terrorists who want to kill Americans simply because we're Americans. Cartel gangbangers come in to do their crimes so they can make money and enrich themselves. The terrorists are here to kill us.
Yeah.
That's it. And so northern border, he says we got to start taking a peek at it. So it's nice that we're winning down south, but let's get serious. The war is not over.
No, far from it.
Yeah, that was a battle, right? Well, and we got tons of wars overseas Trump's trying to put out, right?
Completely.
And then you got an economic fire that was going that he's trying to put out, which that one I would say is probably going the best of anything Team Trump has done, right? Think about just March, April, how everybody was freaking out about the tariffs.
Ah, yes.
The market's crashing, the sky is falling, Trump's ruining everything. How's that market and the economy doing right now, Riley?
Haven't checked in a little while, but booming last time I saw. And look, for all the hysteria, that's what we heard during the first term, and then he delivered historic results. So I just trust. That was my thing with India, Pakistan, Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Iran. I just trust because I've seen him deliver before. I know that he's capable of it. So just give the guy time.
Yeah.
And more often than not, he's got something working in the behind the scenes, and people just don't understand.
Right.
So
do you think that's what's going on with the Epstein files? I'm running through all these headlines, by the way, folks, because we have a great special guest tonight, an independent journalist who left mainstream media like I did to tell the truth. And this reporter can talk intelligently on almost every one of the major headlines and subjects that we're just chit-chatting about right now because she's free to investigate and ask questions and cover them because she's independent and not run by some, faux news, fake news network, as Trump calls them all. And so, there's so much going on. Epstein, all the wars overseas, the border situation, the economy. What else am I missing? Obviously, the floods I hit at the beginning. We're going to get to those. Just tragic.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, as a dad of a little girl, and she'll watch this and go, Dad, I'm not a little girl. I'm an adult in October. Yeah, I know you're almost an adult kid. But to me, you're still a little kid. When you see the images of these 9-year-olds that were swept away in that camp, and then there are pieces of shit out there. Yeah, I said it. Delete it, bleep it, censor it. I don't care. They're out there trying to play politics when 120 some are dead, and it's going to rise because 170, 180 are still missing. And you want to play politics and act like it's Donald Trump's fault that people died in this flood. And we'll get to that and all the lies being told about staffing and alerts and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, how have you been? Let's catch up for a quick sec before we bring an amazing guest on tonight. How you been, Riley?
Good. Despite all of that, things are going well. The music's keeping me sane, so that's nice. And just trying to make the most of every day. I will say on that note, that whole situation it's been a reminder of how precious this all is. This is all temporary. It's by design. So I'm just trying to be grateful for every moment that I have here on this planet.
Put stuff into perspective, right?
Yes,
like little
very much.
Piddly stuff that we piss and moan about every day.
Completely.
Do you think the hundreds of families affected down in Texas, as we look at some of this, my goodness.
It's horrific.
Do you think they give two you-know-whats or a rat's you-know-what about, did Trump say this today?
Right.
Did I make enough money this year? Am I wearing cool clothes?
Yeah.
Am I keeping up with the Joneses?
Yeah, right.
Like just stupid, trivial crap.
Yeah. Well, it's the stuff you used to care about, you realize doesn't matter in the bigger
when a
picture
wall of water comes rushing in and sweeps away your family.
Yes.
I had on a guy from the Cajun Navy this week on my show.
The volunteer organization.
Exactly.
Yes.
These guys and gals get in their big trucks with trailers and pull down boats, heavy equipment, you name it, to areas that need it immediately. They were down there July 4th because it's an all-volunteer Cajun Navy around the country. So they have volunteers in Texas.
Yeah.
But guys drove nonstop from Florida, from Ohio, nonstop with backhoes and bass fishing boats and you name it. And the guy I had on the other day is a chaplain.
Okay.
And he said, this has been one of the hardest jobs. And he was an older gentleman. I think he was a veteran like myself. And even he got choked up and he was choking me up. And I was like, he's like, two families that I've had to go talk with, pray with, and hold out hope. One lost 4 family members. Another lost 4, and the 5th is still missing, so it'll probably be 5.
Wow.
And I'm like, what the? And then the babies, the 9-year-olds, the girls from the Camp Mystic. He's like, you know how hard it is to sit down with these mothers and give them the news that we just found your baby girl over here on the banks of the Guadalupe, 10 miles down? Like,
no, but this moment, it's.
But let's make it about politics, Riley.
No, it's just disgusting.
Idiots.
It's disgusting and very
scumbags.
cynical. But isn't it nice to see people like that guy, Scott Ruskin, who saved 165 people or more?
That Coast Guard swimmer guy?
On his very first mission.
Amazing.
Those are the heroes that keep this country going, and I'm eternally grateful for people like that.
God gave him the water wings.
Yeah, amen, really. So something about a crisis just brings out the best in people sometimes.
Well, you know what's funny? I had independent reporters, speaking of that, since our guest tonight's one, Nick Sorter was on my show earlier this week, and he has been out to East Palestine, like right when it broke, Maui, right when it broke, the border for months.
Did he go to North Carolina?
North Carolina, yep. He's been to all the major ones in the last 3, 4, 5 years. Okay. He said the contrast between the Biden regime and what happened down in Texas was night and day. Ben Bergquam was on the show earlier this week, another independent reporter, does reports for Rav. Yeah. He said the same thing. And they all got there day of. They drove straight through and got there late on the 4th or early, and they all told me, Dan, I've never seen local, state, and federal, and the volunteers and the nonprofits and the churches come together so quickly and be on the scene so fast to start rescuing and recovering. I mean, you just said it. That Coast Guard guy had 160, 165 saves.
Yes.
Overall, I read there was about 850 to 1,000 saves that first day because they were there so quickly. But then the left is, well, they got late warnings. That's because of Trump's budget cuts. And, well, the redneck right folks in Texas didn't warn either. They screwed up. And because they just got to find somebody to blame. Hey, maybe Mother Nature and some cloud seeding reacted together, and it wouldn't have mattered how many alerts you sent out, how many meteorologists you had on staff. By the way, they were fully staffed at the National Weather Service. Knock that lie off. It wouldn't have mattered. Everybody kept seeing 10 inches, 10 inches, 10 inches. And they got like 26 inches in 45 minutes to an hour.
Yes.
And it stalled and stayed in one spot and then flooded down a dry riverbed. So, of course, you're not going to expect that. I saw an interview with a gal on NBC. She owns another camp up the way from Camp Mystic. She's like, I drove down, as I do, because we live in a flood zone. We have our business in a flood. We're used to this. She's like, we get warnings all the time. It's no big deal. I drove down to the riverbed. I looked at it at 2:30 in the morning, and I didn't think anything of it. So I went back up to the camp, and I went to sleep.
Wow.
And at 4:30, all hell broke loose.
Wow.
In a matter of 2 hours.
Wow.
So what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Blame Trump. That's what they do.
What's all they've been programmed to do? They don't think to do anything else, which is really sad, but I'm glad that we're seeing such an outpouring of support. I had someone from Salvation Army on, a major come on, and he talked about thousands of snacks, water bottles, meals delivered to first responders.
The charities and the regular people helping is unreal. And you know what I also think?
That's who America is, by the way. We take care of our own.
Thank you. And I think because Trump and MAGA won big in November, I think it emboldened patriots to do more, say more, and be out there. And so when tragedy strikes, I'm not saying that they don't react when lefties are in charge. I'm just saying I feel like the American spirit kind of got a boost January 20th.
Completely.
And so now when we see our fellow mankind in trouble, we help. Because I guarantee you this was Central Texas, which, yes, is mostly conservative, but there were Democrats in there. Did anybody ask politics? Did anybody ask who they voted for? No, they just went in and saved lives. Yeah. All right, let's get to our guest tonight.
Done.
I'm sure she's got lots to say about everything we've been talking about for these first 10 minutes here. So without further ado, and I love this because every time she comes on, I like pointing this out on my talk show, is that she's a former Fox News producer because she saw the light like me, like Carrie Lake who left media, like so many people now, you and I know, right? We have a few of the anchors on our news side here at ON that were working for mainstream
for a long time.
Media outlets, CBS, Fox, NBC, and they left them all because they had to lie about COVID and the vaxxes and all that crap, the laptop. And so Brianna Morello, if you don't know her, start following her, watch her reports. She can talk about anything and everything because she's independent as heck, and that's what I like about her. So where is Brianna? Do we have her? There she is. Hi, Brianna. How are you?
Hey, guys. Doing well. Great conversation so far, so I'm excited to be here.
Well, we just, this is kind of, I don't know if you've been watching the podcast since we launched it a few months back, but one with an hour format versus the hour talk show where we try to cram in, 4, 5, 6 guests, and you only get, as you know, Brianna, we only get 4, 5, 6 minutes with you. It's so much nicer to have almost an hour with one guest to get to know them, to talk all kinds of subject matters instead of just one or two, like when you appear on our talk shows.
I'm excited for this because I've got a lot to say. As you said before, when you opened up, there's a lot going on in the world. I mean, it's hard to keep track.
There is.
But we're doing our very best.
There is. Before we get to the headlines and your independent take on them, one thing we like to do is warm the guest up with learning about them so our viewers know who the heck they're going to watch and trust and whatever. Might be a celebrity, a politician, an independent reporter. So my question is, they know Riley and I's story, right? We always wanted to be newsmen. So did little Brianna always want to be a news lady? Let's start. Where'd you grow up? Where'd you go to school? Did you go to school for journalism? Give us that first formidable years that turned you into a reporter.
Yeah, well, it's quite the interesting story. I'm a Long Islander at heart, so I grew up and was raised in Long Island, and I try to hide it my best way by hiding my accent, but that's where I'm from. And then I ventured off into college, went to SUNY colleges, And I initially actually wanted to do culinary, but I wasn't 100% certain. So I went to a school that had both culinary and had media. And then after starting off in culinary, I realized I only like to cook for people I actually like. And so this wasn't going to work out for me. And so I quickly flipped around and jumped into the journalism side of things.
You like
And it's been
burned
going
eggs or
well.
burned water? Was that the problem? You couldn't fry an egg?
People are picky, and I worked in restaurants. I'm no AOC. I'm a little bit better, I would think, but I worked in restaurants. I bartended. I was a waitress, but people are picky and they're mean, and you can't go far in the restaurant industry by telling them to shove it when they give you a nasty request. So I figured not for me. So here I am telling people to shove it as a journalist, and they're usually working in government. So that's the good news.
Yeah. Well, and I would say, though, I mean, good choice, yes. But I think that probably the food service industry and chefs and whatnot probably have a better approval rating these days than the media. But anyway,
that's true.
That's the mainstream media that has the crappy approval rating. I would say that independent journalists probably have a better approval rating with the American public today, unless they're radical left-wing nut jobs, because of places like X and Truth and whatnot, where you and other independents, I just mentioned a few in the build-up here, Nick and Ben and Anthony and Brianna. There's 4 right there that I constantly use, these 4 independent journalists, because they're out there and they're not beholden to anyone. All right, so you decide to flip to, which, by the way, I'm my house family's chef. I do the cooking. I love to cook. So I appreciate that you were going to become a chef, because I dabble. So where'd you go then? You got the journalism degree and you decide, I'm going to go be a journalist. Where did Brianna start? And then we'll get to once you got to Fox and why you left.
Yeah, so it started in sports initially. I was actually interning at a sports magazine in New York City called Athletes Quarterly. Wow. And then I also started my own sports radio show. And I actually had like some really cool people on. Adam Jones from the Baltimore Orioles was my co-host for a couple of weeks. And then we took off from there. And then I got offered a job over at Major League Baseball and started producing and working for them. And that was fun. But then during the off seasons, I'd go and I'd work a little bit of ESPN stuff, NHL stuff. Wow. So it was very, very interesting. And then, suddenly I was about 3 years into sports and I was like, if I worked in baseball, I'm going to have to work 7 days a week because their schedule is just really, really rough.
Long season.
Yep.
Very long season. And, the politics obviously weren't very friendly either. So I decided to switch things up a little bit. And I actually I was working at ESPN part-time and then working at Fox part-time as a teleprompter operator. That was my very first job.
Running the teleprompter for the snotty anchors that yell at you if you don't get it right? Like me.
Yeah. Well, you run your own teleprompter. That's a skill actually that I thought I was good at until I had to fill in for you.
That's right. I have a foot pedal. Then I don't have to yell at anybody. Right? I just do it myself, which I don't even barely use the teleprompter. Most of my shows ad-libbed. So now wait a second. Journalist.
Yeah.
Chef. Do you love music too? Are you artistic with music at all? You play any instruments? You love to listen to music?
No, I listen to music. That's about it though.
What's your favorite genre?
I don't really have a favorite genre. I guess like favorite bands, probably like My Chemical Romance, 3 Days Grace, like that type of dark stuff.
Real.
I'm watching Riley's face. This is to my viewers. Y'all know where I'm going with this, right? Brianna's single. Riley's single. Riley loves music. They're both journalists. And she cooks. Wow, slam dunk. I'm just kidding. I'm not trying to play matchmaker. I'm just messing with you guys. I'm all married over here and boring. So, I got to matchmake. Anywho,
man.
You should see the shade of red that Riley's turning, by the way.
Am I turning?
I can see it through the makeup. He's red as hell right now. Look at him. Anyway, keep going. Sorry to interrupt. I had to just throw that in there.
No, it's okay. So I ran teleprompter. I ran teleprompter for the great Lou Dobbs for about a year.
Wow.
Yes, he was a pleasure to work for. Actually,
he probably didn't yell at you if you messed up the prompter, did he? Was he nice?
No. So, to me, yes, he was nice because Lou Dobbs always knew that I was the one that would never screw up. And so that was always his thing, right? Because one day his producer screwed up real bad. And so they flipped the script on him and I didn't catch it because I was in the middle of scrolling. And so it's a machine. So it's kind of automatic when they flip it. I can't do anything about it. And so they tried to blame me. And Lou's like, who's on prompter? Is it the girl that never messes up? And I'm like, it's the girl that never messes up, Lou.
Oh, how many years ago is this, Brianna?
That was 2019, so not too long ago.
6 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're at Fox. You're just doing teleprompting for the great Lou Dobbs.
Couple other shows, even Tucker too. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Wow.
And so when do you make the leap, and what jobs do you have to do in between to go from just running the prompter to I know you were producing when you walked out? Catch us up.
Yes. So to kind of catch you up on it, the thing about working in the mainstream media in New York City is there's a lot of part-time jobs, not a lot of full-time jobs. When they do have full-time jobs, they're very hard to grab onto. So I was bouncing around between 2 jobs, and I wanted to start producing. So about 3.5, maybe 4 months into Fox as a teleprompter operator, I reached out to executives and started emailing a bunch of them and just saying, hey, my name is Brianna. I want to introduce myself, maybe grab coffee with you. And then I just kind of tried to maneuver my way around. So quickly, they offered me just to kind of shadow a couple of the shows. So I did Outnumbered for a bit. Only a couple of shows, and I was shadowing their producers, and I was looking around. I wasn't even getting paid for it. I was just doing it because I wanted to move up super quick because I had just done producing and everything else in sports, but it's different, sports and news, so you have to adjust. So that happened, and then I actually decided that I was going to leave and move down to New York. Leave New York and move down to Florida because I was getting really upset with local politics, and I knew that the criminal justice reform was about to get implemented, and New York City was already hanging out in a bad direction, and it was going to only get worse.
And this is still about 2019 or 2020?
2019, right before the pandemic.
So I only worked. Right. Well, I'm just pointing out, good thing you're out of New York now. If you thought it was crazy back in 19, look what the hell's happened in 6 years. And if they elect that Mandami guy, which we'll get to and get your take on, holy hell, don't live in New York. Keep going.
Yeah, it's really bad. It's really bad. And then the worst part about it is like it's not going to get any better. I mean, once I saw that bill and they shoved it into the state's budget, I knew I had to leave because it was really bad for women, especially because you can't defend yourself and you have to just be a victim. And so bounced, left, went to Florida, was one of the first. I say I'm a trendsetter because everyone else from New York then fled. And while I was down there, I actually didn't even have a job. I just knew I wanted to get the heck out of New York. And so I had to go back to bartending and waitressing for a little bit. And then I got a job in local news. And then from local news, I bounced around. I went to a West Palm station, then Tampa hired me, so I moved to Tampa. And then I got called to go work for Newsmax. And so then I went back down south to West Palm Beach and was working at Newsmax as a producer and doing a couple of on-air hits here and there. And, we did our thing at Newsmax. And then I quickly went back to Fox right after. So landed back at Fox. And then I suddenly got an email asking me for my vaccination status.
Uh-oh.
This was 2021. I have to give credit when credit's due. Mike Lindell was actually the first one to, because I didn't have a job when I quit Fox. So he offered me a job, and he didn't try to short me change. He figured out what the average senior producer's worth, and he gave me what that worth was. And so I was very grateful for that because he was starting his own digital platform, and he wanted to make sure that I was taken care of. And when he found out my story, he just said, "Yeah, just give it to her. It's fine." So I'm thankful for him. But
good for Mike.
He's a great person. But I did that for a little bit, and then about 2 years into doing the helping other shows be produced on the internet, I decided just to launch my own. And so we launched the Brianna Morello Show. I came out and told my story about Fox, and I was able to garnish a couple of 100,000 followers. And it's because people weren't able to trust those outlets. Again, Fox News, and this is important for everyone to understand, the Blaze did a FOIA request through HHS and found out that Fox News and all the mainstream outlets took money from HHS to push the COVID jabs, never disclosed it to their audience.
Really?
We don't know the dollar amount yet. I'll find out, though, very soon.
Who didn't, Brianna?
Yeah, you guys.
Thank you. Yeah. We didn't take one penny of that federal money, and we're proud as hell to say that. The Herrings always point that out. Yeah. We didn't take one penny. Sorry. Keep going. How many times are you going to lie to the American people and then expect them to trust you every night at 6 o'clock, 11 o'clock?
Completely.
Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's why their ratings need to be taken out on their ratings at this point, because it's just so egregious that they continue to do it. And they do it all the time.
Well, look how low they are. The ratings suck for a lot of those mainstream networks.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, though. It's a business, and when your ratings start hurting, you'd think maybe you change your tune. I mean, it's show business, and it's
a couple of them have
losing
a smidge.
viewership. They're losing.
You saw CNN the last week or so, right?
Yeah.
CNN, have you seen that, Brianna? CNN's having that one skinny guy over on the one side of the mon with hosts show the new polls for all kinds of stuff.
That's right.
And he's been positive about Trump, and I'm going, did someone get red-pilled, or are they only doing this for ratings? Do they actually mean this? Why are they bringing up a pollster dude and showing that Trump is winning? Because it's now weekly on CNN.
I think it's that Harry Enton guy. I think I've seen.
Is that who I'm talking about? I don't pay attention. I hate them all. But
Well, I pay attention because that's a very interesting thing to see on their network because everyone he talks to just looks flabbergasted. They're like, wait a minute, people like deportation?
Yes!
Border security? What are you talking about?
And then he was the bald guy with the thin beard and glasses that a week or so ago did the opinion commentary for 6 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Praising Trump. And the CG even said, Trump on a roll. And he praised him for the economy.
They put that on a CG.
For the Middle East. Oh, yeah. They praised him for even the deportation, all this stuff, 6 straight minutes. And I'm going, okay. So Brianna's got better insight than me because I kind of in my own bubble and world out here in San Diego, and she's always moving around and talking to people. What's going on at CNN? Because you got contacts at all the big networks. Are they just doing it for ratings and kind of not coming around to Trump, but starting to have a couple people cover him neutrally like they're supposed to?
Yeah, I think they see profit in what's going on, right? Because Scott Jennings slaughters the left all the time, and those clips go viral and get more views than any of their shows will ever get. And so I think they're hoping to try to figure out a way to pull that in as viewership. But anyone wouldn't tune in regularly. They're just hoping to get a good clip and watch that because they don't want to have to go through hours and hours of torture listening to a bunch of liberal hacks. So you'd rather get your dose of Scott Jennings for about 30 seconds and you say, go Scott. And then you click out quick. You go somewhere else because it's garbage.
It's the only one you can watch anymore, right? I mean, I can't think of them. Who do you want to watch? They have a Bree girl. I forget her name. I can't stand her. Brianna Mel or whatever. They got Jake Tapper. They got all these. I mean, they fired a bunch, both MSNBC and CNN over the last year. Look how many they've gotten rid of. Don Lemon and joyless, horrible Reed over them. I mean, tons of these people got canned. Yes, amen.
Brianna, can I ask you, so this hilarious book tour with Jake Tapper and I think Alex Thompson about the Biden White House days and the cover-up that I think that, if I remember correctly, they were a part of. What do you think about that?
It's a matter of rewriting history, right? They wanted to hope that you're going to not remember the fact that Jake Tapper shut Lara Trump down when she was going out there and talking about Joe Biden's mental health decline. And they're hoping that you will forget it magically because it's convenient for them. But he's also looking to profit off of it. I mean, look at Chris Cuomo. He's another great example. You know, Chris Cuomo DM'd me back when he launched his show over at News Nation.
Really?
And and I didn't even say anything mean. I just tweeted out his ratings, which were horrendous, given the fact that News Nation had put in a ton of money to
they
put
were at
towards
the
his
beginning.
show.
He's coming up now because he started going center on his opinions. Did you see that lately?
Yes, but he's not center because he told me in messages.
Well, I know he's not. I'm saying he's doing that on air because of this.
Yes. Because Americans have had enough with the far left nonsense, and he's hoping that you're going to think that he's just this down the middle reasonable person when he's really just an inch away from communism every night. And so he can't do that gig anymore. That's why he's no longer on CNN. So he's trying to look like he's neutral and pretend like he's someone who you could trust. But the reality is you can't trust the guy. I mean, he sat here, was pushing his brother to be governor. To be president to run. And he's propping him up every night like he was the best thing throughout the entire pandemic. And we all know he was lying to us.
His brother can't even beat a damn Muslim socialist in New York for mayor, and he wanted him to be president. This is how I segue into one of the headlines. So, since you're a New Yorker, let's talk about Zohran Mamdani. This guy, I'm nervous as hell about. And not because of just who he is personally, but the entire radical Islamic movement happening in America. Big picture here. Not just one guy, because he could screw up New York, yes, big time in a 4-year term, I'm sure. And God forbid if that happens. And New Yorkers, you better get your act together and make sure he does not get in there. But you look at what's happening in Dearborn, Michigan, in Minneapolis and parts of Minnesota, in New York City and parts of New York.
And parts of Texas.
And Texas now even too. You've got multiple states with thousands and thousands of Muslims. And no, I'm not throwing them all under the bus, so don't start writing me emails like, Dan, you can't use that rhetoric. You're Islamophobic and xenophobic and you're going to get people hurt. Yes. No, I'm not talking about innocent, peace-loving Muslims. I know there are some, but there's also millions of radical ones. And they want the little devil and the big devil, American Israel, dead. And if you don't convert, they want you dead, period. They're chanting that crap in New York City, in freaking Times Square. They're chanting it in Dearborn, Michigan. I mean, please, can we raise the alarm bells a little bit more? Brianna, you've tracked these stories. What do you think? Am I exaggerating?
No, I think you're actually playing very nice on the subject matter because the reality of it is when we saw the terror attack that took place on New Year's Day in New Orleans, uh, we saw that the mosque where he was based out of allegedly was tweeting out for members of their mosque to not speak to the FBI. We continue to get told that these people just want to coexist, but we're not being told this
No, they
by believers of Islam. We're being told this
No, they don't.
by white people. I mean, there's just no other way to say it. They're sitting here and telling us that Islam wants to coexist with us. But when you listen to the words that are coming out, and thanks to the great work of people like Amy Meck, who's on X, constantly going through videos that these people are putting out there and interpreting them so we can understand them and telling us what kind of hate speech they're spewing here on U.S. soil.
Right, because most people don't know what the hell they're saying, obviously, in their native tongue. And so it's just, oh, no, it's their religious freedom. They're just, talking about whatever in their voice because it's their religion. No, they're not. They're literally talking about death to America. They're talking about if we don't convert. I mean, I saw one the other day. This was a video of a gal that was an intern for Mandami. And when they were having a big protest in the Big Apple, cops were all lined up to do a protection wall. And she found a Muslim cop. And she went right to him, was doxing his badge number, name, and everything, calling him everything under the sun, and then saying stuff in some, whatever her language was, Arabic language, wishing him death because they were putting the translation underneath. And I'm sitting there. This is a gal that Mandami picked to be an intern for him.
Yeah. Yeah. He's radical and he is a communist, and people need to know
not
that.
a socialist. He's a communist. Thank you.
Yes, because I think we tend to use the word socialist as if that's what he is, but he's not. He's a communist. He runs on the family party ticket in New York, and have been known to be a bunch of commies, and that's AOC's party too. And
Yeah.
I don't even know if she's intelligent enough to know that she's a communist. I just think that she thinks that she's just here for the people, and she's absolutely she's one of the dumbest humans on earth. But then you're seeing a lot more stupidity pop up within their own political party, and so that's where we are right now. Listen, New York City's in bad shape. I think Eric Adams hasn't done a horrible job, given the fact that he's held hostage by the New York City Council, which is extremely liberal, the state legislators, which control all three branches of government, which are extremely liberal. There's so many people out there who don't understand that Eric Adams really did the best job he could do. I talk to members of law enforcement all the time, active NYPD officers, and although he is NYPD previously, and he is also someone who has used the race card several times, they do say, and this is white officers as well, that he has been significantly better than the last administration, which was Bill de Blasio.
Wow.
And so,
Big bird.
Well, a lot of people are talking about, okay, so we've got Cuomo, obviously doesn't stand a chance. Mandami.
Curtis.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Curtis Swilwell, the founder of the Guardian Angels, been around for 30 plus years in New York City. He's tried this before. He never got off the ground enough. And I wish he would have. I don't know why New Yorkers don't take to him, but that's the Republican ticket. And then you got Adams now. He went independent, left the Democrat Party. Again, that could have been just political play. Maybe he means it. Maybe he means that he knows his party is bat crazy, so that's why he went independent. I don't know. Or maybe it's because they were going after him and indicted him and all that, and he went, screw you, Dems, and he wants to act like an independent to win again. Whatever it may be, New Yorkers need to steer so far clear of this radical Islamic communist. Now let's move on to the other big headline, because we got so many more between Epstein and the floods and the wars. Did I hear, okay, so you were in Florida then for several years after, and then did you go to Texas now?
Yeah, I picked up and moved to Texas a couple of months ago. And I didn't tell anyone. I just showed up.
Okay, well, sorry, I exposed you. I didn't say where. It's a big state.
No, it's okay. Now everyone knows.
Well, I want you to be
Dallas.
safe, because I know there's whack jobs out there. Trust me, dear. I want you to be safe. Yeah, you and I were talking the other day. There's a lot of wackos, so be careful. Watch your six.
Yes.
We must talk about the flooding down there and the devastation and the response from the American public and the outpouring of support to help these poor families. But as an independent journalist, questions from you have to be geared towards all the mainstream media lying and trying to blame Trump that people are dead.
Yeah. Yeah, those are the same people that didn't blame Joe Biden or the governor of North Carolina when they decided to. And I reported it first because I was getting emails from service members who were infuriated that they were a part of search and rescue teams, but they were being told to stay on the outskirts of the devastated areas. People who were literally standing on their rooftops hoping that the government would come save them, and the government didn't show up for 5 or 6 days.
Yeah.
Those same people seem to have forgotten what happened in North Carolina, and they did it so that, this is my belief, so they could push in mail-in ballots, and so they could abandon these people in red districts so that they wouldn't show up to vote. That's as evil as it gets, but there's
Right.
no other explanation for why the governor would have left resources of people literally calling me. They have their choppers,
the
they're ready to
same.
go.
I heard the same,
and they did
Brianna.
nothing.
It's like East Palestine. Come on. Joe let those poor people get poisoned after the train derailment because of a town of 5,100. The numbers proved almost everybody voted for Trump. So they didn't care about helping those folks in my home state of Ohio. This is what they do. And I don't know if you went out to the Guadalupe, but the reporters I've had on just this week that were there starting on July 4th all said, and these were same reporters that you and I were talking about at the beginning of the show tonight.
Yeah.
They've covered all the other mass disasters in the last 4 years under Biden, and they said by far this was the fastest response. There were people getting rescued within hours of the flooding from agencies, not just regular good folks helping, but there were regular good folks there within hours helping. I mean, again, how many rescues? 1,000 in the first day or something? So they were prepared. They were ready. Now, did the right warnings go out when they should have? Well, that's up to the locals. I don't know why you want to complain that Donald Trump had anything to do with a local siren that goes off. And NOAA, National Weather Service, all of them have already said there were extra meteorologists on staff, so none of the Doge cuts affected that. That's BS. So every one of the narratives the left's putting out, that Trump cuts, Trump's climate denial, whatever the crap is that caused all these deaths, it's all BS. And the response, and you speak to this, the response on this one versus North Carolina is night and day.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, whatever they could try to do to bash Trump because they hate this country, but they don't hate this country more than they hate Donald Trump. That's just the reality of the Democratic Party here.
Yeah.
The numbers are just horrific when you look at what the Democratic Party, I believe it was July 4th, CNN even releasing their own polling saying that the majority, I think it was like less than 30% of Democratic voters actually have a sense of patriotism, and the rest of them just despise us as a whole.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
What was the Republican?
Yeah.
The Republican one was 89.
I think it was 92%.
92. Yeah, I knew it was around 90%.
Yeah, it was pretty close.
Yeah, what's wrong with you Republicans? You should be 100%. You feel patriotic. But think
There's
about
probably
that.
all those on the left who wanted to even it out a little bit voting on that line because we didn't check ID. But, it's one of those things where it's just like, it's so gut wrenching to see. But we could talk about the positives in all of this, right? Because the reality is Governor Greg Abbott did a great job, and the response in Texas was a great response. And I've covered hurricanes in Florida before, and again, DeSantis will have bridges up and running within a matter of days after they've just been destroyed. But people still in North Carolina are still barely getting by right now after the devastation that took place there.
Isn't that funny how like left-wing folks who typically want to give handouts to everybody, right, and take all of our money and just give it to people, when tragedy strikes, they're the worst ones at responding. And Republicans who want to conserve things, when tragedy strikes, we're the ones out there kicking ass and getting it done.
Yeah.
I mean, let me just say, I guarantee you, and I'm confident making this statement, that the majority of the good old boys that the left wants to make fun of are the ones that jumped in their pickup trucks with the Bass Tracker, drove 20 hours from a different state, pulled in on the 4th of July, giving up their family's party, hopped in their boat, and went and rescued people. Go find me some stupid-ass liberals from California that did that, or Massachusetts, that drove down to Texas and helped save their fellow Americans. I'll bet you it didn't happen, and I'll make that statement 100% a surety. And if I'm wrong, I'll eat crow. Find me some Democrats that went down to Texas that aren't in a nonprofit group and they're kind of mandated to go. Just regular Americans that jumped in. Because when you got a poll like you just brought up, Brianna, on CNN, so I'm going to believe their polls of liberal people because they're liberal, and they're saying only 30% of Democrats feel patriotism for this nation. That's all you need to say about what party you should be a part of as an American. 30% versus 90.
Yeah. It's pretty gross. It's
Sad.
pretty gross. But that's what the Democratic Party is at this point. That's why they have communists running on their tickets because they hate this country and they're destructive. So
Yeah.
It's
Do we have
nothing
time to hit
surprised
Epstein
about.
with her?
I think so.
We got a couple minutes left.
Let's do it.
That's like the three biggest ones of the week, right? We have to hit these three.
Yes.
We covered a lot. We covered a lot. Fake news. I got to watch that C word. The Rona.
Yeah.
Will AI catch it if I call it the Rona?
I don't know. We'll find out. I
You'll
guess.
find out. The next episode of Anchorman.
Did you ever get the Rona, by the way? I've had it a couple times.
I did. I was actually one of the first people to take ivermectin. And,
Wait, are we allowed to say that one? Will that get us in trouble?
Actually, we'll find out too. Yeah.
Ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, D3, zinc, and vitamin C. Do those 5 every time you get it. You're good to go in a couple days. Anywho, let's talk Epstein before we lose you, because I know you got an opinion on that one. And a lot of MAGA folks are really PO'd at Trump's comment the other day in the cabinet meeting about, are we still talking about that? I got all this other crap. And I get his frustration, and I get our side's frustration in that, yes, we want answers. Y'all promised us answers and lists and names and butts in jail, okay? But I also get that you're trying to put 2 wars out, Mr. President, God bless you. You're trying to get our economy going, God bless you. You're trying to close down a border. You're trying to kick out millions of illegals. Oh, by the way, you're trying to rescue and save people, now recover people in Texas. I mean, this man's got more on his plate in the first 6 months than Obama did in all 8 years, because he's got to unscrew what Joe did for 4, not to mention the policy of 8 years of Obama too.
Yeah, seriously.
So I get his frustration, but I hope that he gets ours in that we want some damn answers on Epstein. Right, Brianna?
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't very happy with his response because I think that it downplays the victims in all of this. And I mean, everyone who's now running the FBI said the same things that we're saying to this day prior to being sworn in. So I think we're watching, Director Kash Patel give his comments, and Deputy Director Dan Bongino, who I'm friends with. I am going to call it out because I think it's absolute garbage when they sit here and they say what they're saying. But also keep in mind, folks, and this is where I sound like I'm giving leeway here because I am.
No, we should. We don't know everything they know.
Well, and when you step into a position like this, the reality of it is they had ample time to start deleting things from the day that President Trump was elected to the day that he took office. And so it is extremely likely, and I would probably put all my money on the fact that they deleted stuff prior to the new administration coming into power. And so I would say that when Dan Bongino is telling you that he believes that he killed himself based on what was in the file, that actually means
based
that he
on
probably
what they saw. Right. What's available, the information that's available to them. Not to mention, they probably still have the little lemmings at the FBI, DOJ, wherever that are still working there that are beholden to the left and have left the ideology and hate Trump. And so they're not going to be working in the best interest of the Trump administration or the American people. Yeah. They're going to be doing everything they can do to make Dan and Kash and Trump look bad. Here's my deal. I'm going to go way back. Okay. Let's go back to 2007, Brianna. When they had Jeffrey Epstein dead to rights in a Florida courtroom, and George W. Bush was in charge, and a United States attorney for Florida went into that courtroom, go look it up, these are the facts, in 2007, and got him somehow off a bunch of charges that he should have been in prison for to this day, and got him like house arrest and an ankle bracelet, whatever. And the detectives with the West Palm or Palm Beach, whatever, that had him nailed were sitting there in that courtroom that day. There's a great documentary online. Go look it up and watch it. They're like, we had him. We were sitting there waiting to get him. And then this attorney walks in, goes in the back with the judge, with Jeffrey, his attorneys come out. We struck a deal. It's all good. Everybody leave. And the detectives are sitting there going, are you kidding me? We got testimony from these girls. We got this, we got this, we got this. So my thing is, Brianna, they've been deleting and hiding evidence on Epstein since 2007, not since Biden took over 2021. They've been covering up and deleting and hiding this crap since 2007. And that's why Dan and Kash and Pam and 47 don't have the stuff that we thought they'd have. That's one of my opinions. And also, we don't know what they know.
Correct.
And what they might be doing with the little information that they may have. You know, everybody's talking Trump might be using this to play down the road with some people. Who knows? And that's why he poo-pooed it so casually. Like, stop talking about it. We got all this big stuff. Maybe he's doing something behind closed doors with it. We don't know.
Yes.
You said at the beginning of this show, and we'll give her the final word, trust in the process with the man in charge that we all trust, believe, love, and have voted for 3 times now. And I'm going to do the same. I'm going to give him a little leeway, like you said, Brianna. But again, if we don't see action,
And look, for the record, despite it all, I would happily vote for him again and again and again and again. 1,000%. The pros outweigh the cons if there are any. And I also think there are very dark forces in Washington, to your point, that are far more powerful than the people we elect or appoint, that are probably working behind the scenes. Who knows what the AG is up against? Who knows what Kash Patel is up against? So we have very limited data here. I'm just going to trust because this president has delivered for us before. I know he's about transparency. I know that's what he wants. That's what he's promised, and he's delivered on that. So I'm just going to wait. I'm going to be patient here. I'm going to trust. I am.
Amen. Brianna, final word to you on the Epstein files.
I think Pam Bondi's a liar, and I think she needs to be held accountable for her lies. And I think that she should probably lose her job at the DOJ because she's not doing anything. And she's actually stepping in on key roles like Ed Martin's role over at the DOJ. We haven't heard much about his weaponization division.
We love Ed.
And I think there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe make Ed the AG. I like that.
They couldn't get him confirmed, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I know. That was a thought originally, and they were worried about confirmation.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I know. Him, Mike Davis.
Again, these dark
I love
forces
those
push
guys.
back.
But yeah, they won't confirm them.
No.
There's too many rhinos that won't confirm those good men that would really bust chops and probably start charging a lot of people. I didn't know much about Pam until she came on the scene and Trump nominated her. So I won't throw her under the bus yet. I don't know enough about her, but I will agree she has made some major fumbles in going on Fox every other day, saying what she has said for 6 months.
Yes.
And then here's the result this week. Yeah, big screw up. Like, that's FUBAR, what you did.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I'll leave it there. Let's try and end on an upbeat. Brianna, if people want to find your reports, your show, your posts, what they're doing, how do they follow you? Do you have a website? Give us all the details.
Yes, so I do exclusives on the independentnewsroom.com. It's a free platform that you could sign up for my email list. Whenever we got an exclusive, it goes straight to your inbox before anyone else. So that's the independentnewsroom.com. And then you can find me on X at Brianna Morello.
Awesome. Riley, you got anything for her to close out?
I just want to say thank you for your time and thank you for opening up and just doing the work that you do, because journalism, real journalism, is so important in any kind of republic or democracy. And I don't know where we would be without brave souls like yourself, honestly. I mean that.
Thank you.
So I just want to thank you for that, and for people like Nick's Order and everyone else who's in this new class of independent, free-minded people who just care about the truth. It's not about the money. It's not about party or the agenda. It's just about giving the American people the facts and letting them run their own country.
Yeah.
So just thank you for that.
Yeah, you used a good word, the H word, hero. We throw that word around, I think, too much these days. Oh, that basketball star's a hero. Whatever. He throws a ball in a hoop. Sorry, I know it takes talent, but I know you're a big sports guy. You ain't a freaking hero. A hero is a guy or a gal that dons that uniform and serves us. A hero is somebody like Brianna that has the cojones to take a huge paying job at the #1 network and go, stick it up your you-know-what. I'm not taking your jab. You're not bribing me. I'm going to go tell the truth. These people are the heroes we should be idolizing in this country instead of some dude that can throw a ball. Anyway, Brianna Morello. Sorry, that's the non-sports junkie in me. That's one thing that I am not. I'm a foodie. I'm a journalist. I'm not a big sports junkie. I don't sit around staring and knowing stats and doing that. That's one thing my wife says she loves about me. She goes, you never turn the TV on and turn me off by going, oh, be quiet, watch the game. I got to watch it. I don't do that. I don't know how many RBIs this guy has. I don't know how many rushing yards this guy has. I don't pay attention. I have some teams I like and I watch. I just don't do that crap. Because there's more important things in life, like we're talking about with Brianna Morello. I'll see you on my show. Come on Riley's show. Get all over the OAN network. We need more Brianna. Thank you so much, dear.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it as always.
Yep. Take care. Cool, huh?
Yeah, that was
Told
great.
ya.
Yeah.
And we've had some great guests the last few weeks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, we're going in a good direction right now. And speaking of, if people want to chime in about who we have on next, please let us know in the YouTube comments, X, Truth Social. I'll read the comments. We're always looking for people. And we get a lot of good recommendations.
We had a handful of ladies asking for Megyn Kelly. I'm working on that.
Yeah, please.
Next week might be Brandon Strzok, the founder of the Walkaway movement.
Yeah.
If you don't know Brandon, outspoken, conservative, gay man who started the amazing Walkaway movement from the Democrat Party several years ago, got canceled all of his pages taken down, thrown in jail for J6. When he was standing on the other side of the Capitol, never entered it, didn't do anything wrong. He's having to build back his whole platform of walkaway. I'm hoping that'll be our guest next week because he's got a message for Democrats, especially before the midterms next year, to walk the hell away. And his story is an amazing story.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons I want him on, is to share his story, just like Brianna.
Well,
I mean, forget all the BS back and forth we did with her for the last 45 minutes. That first 10, 15 with her talking about what she did at Fox and why she left, that's the story I wanted people to hear so they would understand that sometimes you got to be brave. So when I tell people out there, be a fearless patriot, don't worry about the Joneses, don't worry about your job even, don't worry about what you're going to post on Facebook. Just follow God and your faith, this country and your family, stand by your convictions, and you'll always do right, even in the ups and downs, because there'll be lots of downs. Just stick with it. Look what she did.
Yeah. Well, you know what they say. Was it Thomas Jefferson or James Madison? Always stand on principle, even if you stand alone. That is something that has stuck with me forever.
I'm trying to remember if it was Jefferson or not.
It may have been James Madison. I don't know. But to your point,
it's a great quote.
Always stand by your principle, always, and you'll never have regrets.
Yep. I've been saying that since the day I got here and turned down other jobs and started speaking truth to power about the main subjects that we discussed tonight, of which many of them we can't even say certain words so we don't get censored on certain platforms.
Unbelievable. Yeah, unbelievable.
But we still will the best we can, even if we got to talk in code. Riley?
We got to pick up sign language or something. I'm sorry.
I got the and then they wanted to give me the and then I said no. And then I went in and I did the for the guy that's in there now. Just like I did in 20. Oh, wait, I can't say the year. Anywho, yeah.
Okay, all right.
We'll make up our own code talk for stories we can't discuss on this program. Anywho, tell them where to find you. Let's do the housekeeping here as we wrap things up. We're over an hour. They're going to yell at us.
Absolutely. At Riley Lewis 760 on all social media platforms. This is the host of The Real Story, your first show in the primetime lineup. After me, we have NewsHour, then Real America with Dan Ball. Then we have Matt Gaetz Show, and of course, Fine Point with Chanel Rion. All excellent programs every single night, 5 nights a week.
Yep. 6, 8, 9, 10.
Right. That's right.
And then don't forget John Hines on weekends.
That's right.
Best place to go to get all things OAN is the web page, right? So it's OANN. Don't forget the second N. I can't tell you how many people, right, sound off and go, I couldn't get on your website. It ain't working. What'd you put in? I put OAN.com. It's 2 N's. OneAmericaNewsNetwork.com. Then you can sign up for alerts. You can sign up for the app, but you can also nowadays watch us on a lot more carriers, and more are coming. We have another big announcement, I think, in the next month or so about another nationwide carrier. So,
all right,
OAN's making a comeback, and that's all thanks to you. So, we'll be back next week with another amazing guest, another hour packed full of their story and lots of stories that affect you and your family. Big thanks to Grunt Style, our major sponsor here on the Anchormen podcast. Thank you guys. They do so much for our veterans. If you don't know what they do, please, by all means, start following the Grunt Style and Grunt Style Foundation on X and Facebook and everywhere else, and donate if you can. They help vets so much. Suicide, college for their family. I mean, they help. That's all I can tell you. And they're one of the best accredited charities out there, because there have been a lot of charities over the years that have done some shady deals when it comes to our veterans.
It's unfortunate.
Grunt Style is a good one. Grunt Style is a good one. So big thanks to them. Anything else we got to do? Am I forgetting anything in the back, guys? Are we all good? Time to say goodbye?
I think that's it.
We have so much fun. I never want to leave.
Yeah, same.
And these couches are comfy.
Yeah. I guess, folks, that's a wrap, right?
Riley, thanks, brother. I'll see you next week. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next Friday.
Want to see more great videos like this? Click on the link below to subscribe to OAN Live and watch Dan Ball's Real America and The Matt Gaetz Show on Dish Channel 212. Tune in, subscribe, and watch today.